ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, verse number 16. So we've been reading the name-giving ceremony of Sri Krishna and Balram by Sri Gargacharya. So we read that he gave 4 names to Balram and 2 to Krishna, and then he said that Krishna has got many names according to his characteristics, his actions. He has corresponding names. And now he continues to speak in this verse. Esha Vaha Shreya Adhashyad Gopa Gokulanandana Anena Sarva Durgani Yuyam Anjas Tarishyatha. So this boy, he will do welfare to all of you, to the cows, the cowherd people. He is Gokul Nandana, means one who gives pleasure to the whole Gokula, which include cows, people, everybody. And with his grace, with his help, you will cross over all problems very easily. Anjasa Tarishyata. So you'll have no problem at all, because you have him with you. So adhashyata adhashyati. Adhasyat means he will do that. Gopanam gavam cha kulam nandayati tisa. So Gokula Nandana means that he who gives happiness, pleasure, bliss to cowherd people as well as to the cows. Tesham kulasya nandana. So he is the pleasure giver of their group or family or dynasty. Brahma Mohane Putra Itiva. And in the Brahma Mohan Leela he will also become your son. He will actually, because the word Nandana, although through derivational meaning of Nandana is Nandayati iti Nandana, there is a dhatu called to Nidhi Samriddhi, which gives happiness, opulence. But its Rudhi Artha is in son. Like you say, Dashrath Nandana is Ram. So then Gokula Nandana has both meaning. First meaning is that he will give you pleasure to the cows and the cowherd. And Nandana, in its sense of being the son, is also true because he will become the son of all the cows and cowherd people when Brahma will steal the calves and cowherd people. So therefore he is Gokula Nandana in that sense also. So that's why he says that Brahma Mohane Putra Itiva. He Gopa Itiva. So the Gopa can be an address or it can be Gokula Nandana. It can apply as part of Samasa or as separately as an invocation. Anjaha Sukhena. So Sukhena here means easily. Sukha although means happily, but it is also used in the sense of easiness, like you say Sukhena Karoti, he does it easily. Something is not difficult. Sukara. So that's how it is used here. So without any difficulty, without facing any problem, you will cross over all the difficulties in the life. Sarva Durgani iti yada yada upadrava ayasyati tada tvad ishtadeveena Sri Narayanena avishtoyam tvat putra eva tvayayam ashritavya iti bhava. So whenever any Durga will come, Durga means problem. Durga means which is difficult. Dukkhena gameti Durga. So whenever any problem will come, then your Ishta Devata, who is Narayana, he will enter inside him. And then you will, by taking his shelter, you will have no problem. Therefore, you should all take his shelter. Tvayayam ashrayitavya. So that is the meaning, that take his shelter. Although he is small and you are grown up and he needs your protection, because he also said protect him. But now he is saying take shelter. So both have to be done. As Madhurya Bhav, take care of him. As Aishwarya Bhav, take shelter of him. Everything is possible with him. Puranena Vrajapate Sadhavo Dashu Piditaha Arajake Rakshamana Jigyu Dashyuna Samedhitaha. So in earlier times, this boy, he protected the people, the sadhus who were troubled by dasyus, the thieves, rogues, robbers, troublemakers. So he protected them when there was Arajaka, there was no king. Because this is the job of the king, to protect, to give protection to people. That is the prime duty of the king. But it says that there was a time when there was Arajakta, that people were without a king, anarchy. So then he protected the sadhus, because whenever there is anarchy, then the sadhus, they give trouble to the sadhus. So then he Pritrana sadhunam vinasa cha duskritam. So he comes to protect the sadhus and fix the sadhus. So he said jigyoho rakshamana jigyoho dasyun. So he defeated the dasyas. Samedhita, who has become empowered or strong. Because in this material world this goes on like that. Sometimes sadhus are powerful, sometimes sadhus become powerful. So when a sadhus become powerful, then he comes to help. So this is the meaning of the sloka. Pura janmantare. So pura means in another birth. Sadhavo deva. Sadhu here are the devas. So devas, they lost their king Indra. Sometimes Indra gets into trouble. Bali Maharaj kidnapped his kingdom. Right? So sometimes some other asuras come and they throw him away. Ravana also came, took away the kingdom of everybody. Hiranyakashipu. So Dasyu, all the Dasyu means who is a robber, but here it means Daityas. Rajake Indrasya Padachyutau. Rajake or anarchy here means when Indra, he lost his post as the king. So then all the devas were in trouble. ये तस्मिन् महाभागः प्रीतिं कुर्वन्ति मानवः नार्योऽभिभवन्ति एतान् विष्णुपक्षानिवासरः. So ये तस्मिन्, ये महाभागा एतस्मिन् प्रीतिं कुर्वन्ति. Those great fortunately person who will love him, who will devote themselves to him, then these people, they will not have the enemies. Na aryo abhibhavanti etam. They will not be subjugated by the enemies. Vishnu pakshani vasura. So just like those who take the side of Vishnu, then they are not conquered by the asuras. So in the same way, those who will love this boy, they will not be subjugated by their enemies. So enemies are of two types. There are external enemies and there are internal enemies. So internal enemies are more problematic than external enemies because they take shelter of you only. External enemies are visible, you can see them. Internal enemies are not visible, they are like the coronavirus. You don't see them, but they are inside your lungs and they don't let you breathe. So then there are even subtler enemies than that, the enemies of lust, greed, anger, pride, and atheistic idea, right? Many people think that there is no God. So these are the type of enemies which are more dangerous than the enemies which are outside. They are more dangerous than virus. Virus can only take away your life, but these enemies not only take away your life, but they deviate you from the purpose of life. So therefore he says that if one becomes devoted to this boy, then these enemies will not conquer such a person. Naryo bhibhavanti. So as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma sucha. So that is the teaching Gargacharya is giving here, that the solution of all problems is ye pritim kuruvanti etasmin mahabhaga. Those are real mahabhagas. Tasmad nandatmajoyam te narayana samo gunaihi Shriya kirtya anubhavena gopayasva samahita. So now finally he could not contain himself. How long can he hide? So he says, therefore, O Nanda Maharaj, your son, he is equal to Narayana in qualities, in activities, in fame, in opulence, in power. So Narayana samo gunaihi. So which guna? Shriya, wealth, kirti, fame, anubhav, pravas. So in all these things he is equal to Narayana, and therefore you protect him. Gopayasva samahita. Carefully take care of him. So this is contradictory, that if he has all qualities like Narayana, then what protection does he need? But still he is saying it. So Narayana sama iti. So he comments on this statement of Narayana sama. So Narayana sama can be a Bahurihi samas or Tatpurus samas. Anya pad pradhan. So it can mean one who has qualities like Narayana, or one like whom Narayana has qualities. So he says Narayana Samaiti Twadishta Devena Santushtena Sri Narayanena Swasamaya Putra Stubhyam Datta iti bhava. So he is commenting first normal Narayana Sama is equal to Narayana. Narayanasya Sama, Narayana Sama. So he says that your Ishta Devata, he is very pleased with you, very happy, and therefore by his blessing he has given you a son who is like himself. Swasama putra stubhyam datta iti bhava, that is the meaning. Ato mukunda madhusudana narayanadi nambhirapi adhiyatam. Therefore he will also have names like Mukunda, Madhusudana, Narayana. So you can also call him by these names, because he has qualities like Narayana. But Shreyamsi Bahu Vignani, this is a popular saying in Sanskrit, that whenever there is some auspicious work, then many obstacles come in that. If you want to do some good work, then obstacles come in that. You want to do japa, then mind runs here and there. If you want to watch TV, mind is focused, right? But you want to do puja, you want to do japa, then mind goes here and there. So why? Because Shreyamsi Bahu Vignani. So he says that it is nice that you have such a wonderful child, but you protect him, means some problems will come. Otherwise, why is he saying that you protect him? Gopayasva. So, susavdhanasan gopaya pratikshanam pale. So, therefore, being very attentive, you take care of him. Rakshitaha. Putroyam te narayanaiva sarvupadrebhyo rakshishyati. So, if you protect him, then he will protect you from all types of problems. So, dharmo rakshati rakshita. Dharma dharyate praja. So, therefore, you protect him, he will protect you. That's the deal. So, Gopayasva iti pathe atmane padam arsha. So, Gopayasva, this is atmane pad. Parasmay padam should be Gopaya. So, Gopayasva, he says this is arsh prayoga. But now he says that what is the true meaning is as follows. Vastu tastu Narayana samo yasya. Narayana sama does not mean Narayanasya sama, but Narayana samo yasya. That to whom Narayana is equal. So when you make a simile, so one is called Upman, other is called Upmeya. Right? Like if you say Chandra Vadan, Chandramukhi means moon faced. So face like moon. So moon is the Upaman, face is the Upmeya. Right? So here Narayana Sama means Narayana is the Upaman, Krishna is Upmeya. So generally it is understood that Upaman has more qualities than Upmeya. Right? So now therefore he changes the samas. Make Krishna as the Upaman and Narayana as Upmeya. And it is okay. So therefore it says Vastutastu Narayana Samo Yasya. That in reality it is not that he is equal to Narayana, but Narayana is equal to him. So when you say A is equal to B, then in algebra B is equal to A, what is the difference? Right? In math it does not make any difference. If A is equal to B and then B is equal to A, but in poetics it makes a difference. Who is equal to whom? That makes a big difference. So therefore if you say he is equal to Narayana, that means he is less than him. And if you say that Narayana is equal to him, then Narayana is less than him. So that's why you have to change, because Krishna is Swam Bhagavan. Ete chamskala pumsa, Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. So if he is Swam Bhagavan, others are only amsas, then they are not equal to him, but something less. So therefore he cannot be said equal to them, but they have to be spoken as equal to him. So for that reason he changes the samasa. And this equality is only in the case of guna, etc. This gunai, shriya, kirti, anubhava, these four things, not in everything. It's like when you say that somebody has face like moon. So it does not mean that the face has got all the qualities of moon. Just one or two qualities, not all of them. So when it is said that Narayana is equal to him, means he is not equal 100%, but in some sense. So therefore he says gunadibhireva. What are the things in which Narayana is not equal to him? So he explains, Natu daitya moksha dattva. So Narayana cannot give moksha by killing the asuras. So hatari gati dayaka, quality of Krishna. Bhakta mahabhava pradatva. He can give mahabhava to his devotees that Narayana cannot give. And Lakshmi Durlabha Sri Ras Viharitvadi. Narayana cannot perform Rāsa-līlā with Lakshmi Devi, but Krishna can perform Rāsa-līlā. So therefore he is more than Narayana, and therefore the proper meaning of Narayana Sama should be Narayana Samo Yasya Sa, and not Narayana Sasamo Sa. So ityadibhir mahagunadibhir iti sarvotkarsha atyantika Sri Narayanadapi asya vyanjita. So by this he is indicating that he is superior to everyone else, including Narayana. No one can be equal to or him. So na samas adhiko kutascha. In 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna also says that there is nobody equal to you, no question of being more than you. And then Gopayasva, then what will be the meaning Gopayasva? So there he says another meaning. Gopanam aye labhe. So Gopaya. So Gopaya is Gopa plus Aya. So Aya or Aya. Aya also means Aya and Vyaya. Aya means income. Right? And Vyaya means expenses. So he is the income of Gopas. And Swa means wealth. So Aya means benefit or gain, the wealth. Aya, or it can mean Aya, not Aya. Aya subha subhavaha vidhava susamahita. So or Aya means subhavaha, anything which brings, there is a dhatu aya gatau, which brings auspiciousness. So ayati iti aya. So who takes you to auspiciousness or brings auspiciousness, that is Aya. So he is the auspiciousness, he is the wealth, he is the property, he is everything of the Gopas. Therefore, samahita, susamahita, keep him. Just like you keep wealth protected, like that, keep him properly. If you have something very valuable, you want to keep it with great care. So that's what he is informing.
Babaji, what is the meaning of vidhi here? So avaha vidho vidhi.
Vidhi vidhan means to do. Vipurvak dhadhatu karoti artha means he brings or he does auspiciousness. Vidadhati karoti. It's like when you say this is a vidhi, means it has to be done. Vidhi nishedh, nishedh means don't do, vidhi means do.
Babaji, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Babaji, I had a question on the word dasyun. I have heard of that people have interpreted dasyu as some indigenous people in India, and
South,
they were conquered by.
South India.
Is it just political, or is there any meaning which one can create that dasyu means indigenous people, or is it just sadhu people?
No, this is the Western Indologists. They have interpreted Rig Veda like that. In Rig Veda, there is a mention of Dasyus, and there is a fight between Indra and Dasyus. So they say that the original people who were living in India, they were Dasyus. They are the South Indians. And these people, Aryans, came from outside and they fought with them and threw them to South India, because South Indians were all over India before. They were also in North India. So they pushed them to the south. So they call these are the Dasyus. So this is all political agenda. There is nothing like this. There is no mention of any history. In any Purana, there is no mention like that. So they are interpreting it, or rather misinterpreting it like that. This is a very popular interpretation, because the Sioux are described there a dark color. So they say, look, South Indians have darker color than North Indians. But now with DNA, they have found that the DNA of all Indians is same. North Indian, South Indian, East Indian, West Indian, they have same DNA. So it is disproven. But still it is going on like that. All this Aryan, first of all, the word Aryan itself, I don't know from where they got it. There is no such word as Aryan. The word is Arya, Rigatav Dhatu. Playan Pratyaya. Arya. So there is, I don't know how the word Aryan came, Aryan. Then they say Iran, Aryan. They came from there, different theories they make. They just want to divide India into north and south. That's why South Indian people, they were beating Ramchandra with chappals. Who was that, Karnanidhi, or who was that Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu?
I think it's Karunanidhi, DMK or something, or AIADMK, one of them.
Yeah, I think it was DMK, then it became Nadrumud DMK or something. So this is all propaganda. This all that Tamil has nothing to do with this. In Tamil also 30% of the words are from Sanskrit only. The name Karnanidhi is what, Sanskrit name. All these people, the leaders, all their names are Sanskrit names. But the propaganda is propaganda, and if you have control of television, newspaper, then propagate books. And then people start believing it.
What did they say about the Western scholar? What they say about the North Indian?
And they came from outside, from Russia, or near Poland, or different areas. There are 350 theories. So many people have got PhD just because of this.
But both South Indian and North Indian following the same culture and the festivals.
No, they have imposed it, just like there was no Muslim culture in Iran or Iraq or Egypt, or the old culture is thrown away. They all became Muslim. So they brought and imposed it. Anything else? So, yes.
So then the Gopayaswa Samahitaha is supposed to mean Gopayasve Samahitaha, and the Samahita is a qualifier of Nandatmaja, right? That's
No, means Samahita means you with care. Tvam
situate.
Samahita. Samahita means with care, with attention. So he is telling to him, to Nanda Maharaj.
But that's in the first meaning, right? Gopayasva, where Gopayasva is taken as protect, as a verb. But in the second interpretation, the Gopayasva is, that went a bit fast. So Gopanam, I sway samahita, and then sway becomes swa. That means the samahita would be that this Narayana, this Nandatmaja is situated, samahita would be situated in the welfare of the Gopas. Is that meaning?
Well, Samahita will go with Tvam when he is telling to Nanda Maharaj, Tvam Samahitaha Gopaya. That is the only way you can apply it. Okay, so now next sloka. Sri Shuka Uvacha, Sri Shukdev said, Ityatmanam samadishya garge cha swagriham gate nandah pramudito mene atmanam purnam ashisham. So iti atmanam samadishya. So in this way, he instructed Nanda Maharaj in regard to Krishna, and Garga cha swagriham gate. Then Garga Muni, he went to his own house because he came only for this purpose. So before the people came back, he disappeared from there so that nobody sees him. Wandered on the beach of Yamuna so that they will think that he has come to Yamuna, and then went back home. So Nandaha pramudito mene atmanam purnam ashisham. So then Nanda Maharaj was very happy to hear all this about his son, because everybody, when child is born, and parents are very eager to know, at least in India, they are very eager about his horoscope, how he will be. So when you hear such nice things, then naturally they feel so happy that we have a nice son. So Nandaha pramudate mene mene atmanam purnam ashisham. So then he considered that he is fulfilled in himself. Purnam atmanam mene. Ashisham means all his wish has been fulfilled. He wanted a son, and he got a son who is so wonderful. Because sometimes people want son, but they don't know that son can also be a bad son. Right? People always, those who are not having a child, they are always saying, I want a child, I want a child. If they meet some sadhu, they bless me, I have a child. They don't say, please bless me, I have a good child. Right? So later on the child comes and is only a troublemaker. Then they say, oh, it was better without child. So like that Atmadev. So he did not have a child. This Bhagavat Mahatmya story. This Atmadev Brahman, he did not have a son for a long time. So he went to forest and decided to commit suicide because I don't have a son. So aputrasya desashunya. One who does not have a son, the whole world is empty for that person. Olden days India now. These days people don't want son. They are not interested in having child. So previously it was because putrartha kriyate bharya, putram pinda prayojanam. People married to have a son. And if you don't have a son, then your marriage is nisfala. It is worthless. So he did not get son, therefore he was very unhappy. So he went to the forest and he thought, I will commit suicide by jumping in a lake. But one sannyasi was wandering there. Sannyasis wander. He saw him. So he went and he fell at the feet of the sannyasi and he says, please bless me with a son. So he looked at him. He said, you don't have son even in your next 7 lives. Forget about this life. So you don't have a son. He must be a real Daivagya, real Jyotishi. Could see for not this life but next also. He says, no, you don't have. So he says, no, you bless me, otherwise I will give up my life. So then he gave him a fruit. He says, okay, you give this fruit to your wife, and by eating this, she will become pregnant. So he came home and he gave the fruit to his wife and he says, please take this fruit and we will have a child. So wife did not want to have a child. He says, all the problem will come to me. You brought this fruit, it's a trouble for me. I have to bear the child for 10 months, then he will be born, and such a pain. I've heard so much from my sister how painful it is to give birth to a baby. So I don't want to go through that headache. He didn't tell this to the husband, but she thought what to do. So she consulted her sister. So the sister said, well, if you don't want a child, don't worry, I am pregnant, you take my child when I will give birth because I already have. And don't eat the fruits. So she gave the fruit to the cow. So cow became pregnant. And then when the child was born to the sister, she came and lived with her. And then it was made that she gave birth. So that story is there, that son was such a rascal, he was named as Dhundumar. Dhundukari. Dhundumar was a Rakshasa. But he was not the less Dhundukari. So this Dhundukari was a complete nonsense, troublemaker, right from his birth. So when he grew up, he was just creating nonsense all around. Then when he became young, he got into all bad habits. So he will demand money from the parents, and then he will go and enjoy, drink, go to the prostitutes, all this he was doing. When the parents have no money, then he killed them. And he invited all the prostitutes to live with him. And then prostitutes one day tied him to the cot, took all the money and put him on fire. So they left. So he became a ghost, and the cow gave birth to a baby. So when she gave birth to, or the sister gave birth to Dhundukari, then cow also gave birth to a human baby. But he had ears like a cow, therefore he was named as Gokarna. So in Mathura there is a Gokarna Tirtha. There is actually a place called Gokarna. And this boy was very nice, well behaved, shant. So when the parents died, then this boy left on Tirth Yatra because the brother was doing all nonsense. The father was happy, he said, oh, now I am getting children, even my cow is giving birth to one. When I was not having child from my wife, now my wife has given birth, even the cow has given birth. So he was happy, but later on it turned out to be a problem. And then this story. And then once this Gokarna came back to Mathura, this all happened in Mathura. And when he was sleeping in the house, because by that time this Dhundukari was killed and he became a ghost. So when he was sleeping at night, then this ghost started troubling him. So he woke up and he said, "What is this?" So he asked, "Who are you?" So he said, "I'm your brother." And then said, "What happened? How you became ghost?" So he told the whole story. And he said, "I'm suffering so much and there is no one to do Shraddha for me." So then Gokarna, he did Bhagavad Satta. He recited Bhagavatam. And that's how this Dhundukari was liberated. So anyway, how did we go there? So he got the Purnam Ashisham Atmanam. So he got, Nanda Maharaj got not only son, but a good son, the best. If you want to have a son like this. Therefore he says, Nanda Pramudito Mene. So he was not only Mudita, but he was Pramudita. He was excessively thrilled, excessively happy that I got such a nice, wonderful child. And he felt absolutely fulfilled, complete Purnam Ashisham. So who would not be? So Atmanam Swam Prati. So his own self. Prananahritya Magdhena Dushtayo Putna Samo Asho Sishtavarga Prakritasya Gargasyapi Manohar. What is this? Belongs to the next sloka or what? I think the commentary is mixed. Okay. What is he commenting? He says, Pranan Arhitya Magdhenya Dushtayo Putna Anaso Shishtavarga Prakritasya Gargasyapi Manohar. So he says that as a child he was giving happiness to everybody. So because he was very innocent, Magdhena. And he was not only attracting the mind of the devotees, but he also attracted the life of Putna and Anasa, Shaktasura. So Putna Anasaho Dushtayo Magdhena Prananahit. Shrishtavarga Prakristasya Gargasyapi. He even attracted the mind of Gargacharya, who is the best of Shrishtas, best of the teachers, best of saintly people. So that's how he gave fulfillment to everyone. So now he describes, Sukadeva Goswami describes the Rāsa-līlā of Sri Krishna and Balaram. Kalena vrajtalpena gokule ramakeshavau janubhyam sah panibhyam ringamano vijrahartu. So as the time passed, then Krishna and Balaram, they grew a very short period, alpena kalena vrajta. And then they started, what you call, crawling on their hands and knees. So first the child is lying on the bed, then he turned the side, and they did a ceremony for that. And now he got off the bed and he is crawling on the ground. He cannot stand up yet, but starts crawling with the help of hands and legs, like monkey. Seen how monkey goes? So like that. They both were doing like this together because Balaram was only 8 days senior to Krishna. So they were almost same age and they're growing together, eating same food. So their growth is equal. So Ringamano Vijrahatu. So Janubhyam Sahapanibhyam. So with their knees and with hand they Ringamano Vijrahatu. They started playing like this. So when he will be in the lap of Mother Yashoda, then he would get off from the lap and he want to go around. He didn't want to just stay, because you can imagine the child is lying in the cradle and everybody is walking around and he's just seeing everyone walking. So the child also gets the idea that I also want to move like this. Why is that I cannot move? So he makes effort. He's only throwing his legs in the air, but sees I don't move. That's why you see children all the time kicking their legs, lying down on their back. So they want to move like everyone else because they see everyone else moving their legs and going somewhere. So they move, but they remain lying down in one place. So now he got an idea, and that is, let me move on the hands with my knees. So Kalena Vrasta Aishwarya Mishra Krishnasya Prochya Balasya Madhurin. So in this way, when some time passed, they started moving. So he says that Sukadeva Goswami first explained the Aishwarya-līlā of Krishna, killing of Putana, kicking the Shakata, then killing Trinavarta. Now he comes back to his Madhurya-līlā. So like a human child. So gives that. Kevalam eva tam praha nitya bhavyam upasakai. So now he is describing only the pure Madhurya-līlā. There is no mixture of any Aishwarya in this. So why is this? So that those who are Nitya Upashakas, those who are meditators on Krishna Lila, they can meditate on this. Because this killing Putana and all this is not, this is mixed with Aishwarya. So those who have the mood of Vatsalya towards Krishna, then they would like this Lila very much. They will sit and think and meditate on this. So therefore it says Nitya Bhavyam Upasakai. So Upasakai Nitya Bhavyam, which is meditated upon by the Upashakas always continuously. So any question on this?
Babaji, what is the meaning of Ringamano?
Crawling.
Crawling. Ringamano means crawling, okay.
Yeah, Sanach Pratyaya on Ring Dhatu.
Mm-hmm. Ring dhatu. Ring means crawling then.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay. Yeah, but he has to do something.
Babaji, yes, I have a question. Just to understand correctly the mood of Nanda Maharaj by the speech of Garga Muni, he was very happy because he said that he should take care of him, and so he insisted on Nanda Maharaj Madhurya Bhava, or did he get some of the Aishvarya, type?
No, he understood that my son is a great person, but that did not change his mood. This was already described that although Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, they will see the Śrīmad of Krishna like killing Putana or Shaktasura, etc. But their mood did not change because they will think that this is happening by the power of our Ishta Devata Narayana. So now also the Narayana Samay Gunai, that he has qualities like Narayana, that does not mean that he is Narayana. So he is happy to have a son like that. But his mood is Madhurya.
And Garga Muni has got Aishvarya mood.
No, it did not say like that. It says Garga Muni also was attracted by his Madhurya.
Ah, okay. So you can be attracted by the Madhurya and praising Krishna for his Aishvarya.
No, he is predicting, he is only saying that he has qualities like Narayana. He also did not say that he is Narayana. That is the meaning which commentator is taking out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.